Plattner to win it for Stratford. Kick is up. Kick is good!
Well, perhaps the moment of last year's tournament, German exchange student Lorenz Plattner hadn't attempted a field goal all year until this game. He had one blocked earlier in the quarter, but when it mattered the most, he split the uprights to give the Tigers a title. Man, that was so much fun. Welcome back to this year's WIAA Bracket Reveal Show. Brad Hansen alongside Keegan Hewitt, Travis Wilson from WISports.net. Thank you guys for joining us today.
Yeah, and we've already showed you the 8-player and Division 7 brackets, but now we got to jump right into Division 6. Clover Belt Conference champs Regis taking the top seed in Section 1. They just completed a perfect 10-0 season, and they'll host Fall Creek. Luther earning the 4 seed. They'll get 5th seeded Ladysmith. 3 seed going to Mondovi. They'll take on 6th seeded Cameron. And Grantsburg earning the 2 seed in Section 1. They'll get Chautauqua Weyerhaeuser.
In Section 2, it's undefeated Northwoods champ Coleman. With the 1 seed, they'll get WIAA Fremont. The 4-5 matchup sees Abbotsford host Nakusa. Auburndale earns the 3 seed. They'll play host to Westfield. And the Bonduelle Bears are your 2 seed. They'll take on 7th seeded Crandon. Now, Travis, let's talk about this Coleman team. What have you seen from them, and how do you like their chances of playing in Madison next month?
Well, of course, Coleman's a team that we saw in the Division 7 state title game just a few years ago. They've dropped down to Division 6 the last couple of years, and that's where we find them this year. The Northwood Conference, there's a few larger teams in that league. It prepares them. Sometimes an afterthought a little bit, being that far in the northern part of the state, but I tell you, an excellent program under Jeff Bronson. They're a contender every year, certainly looking like it again this season.
The style of football is good for Camp Randall too, right?
Yeah, they run the wing tee, which is a running-based offense. Always good late in the season. We've had incredible weather so far this year, but you have to expect at some point we're going to get some bad weather games, and running the football is going to be paramount for anybody to make a deep run.
That offense has posted some high numbers. I've seen it this year, not in our area, but you mentioned up north. But we got to keep rolling in Division 6. We'll head to Section 3. Eastern Suburban Conference champ Cambridge earning the 1 seed. They'll host Belleville. Poinette taking the 4 seed. They're set to host 5th seeded Marshall. Your 3 seed going to Cuba City. Will take on the 6th seeded Mineral Point squad. Lancaster earning the 2 seed in this section, and they'll get the 7th seed in Westby.
And our last 1 seed in Division 6 goes to the Big East champs, Cedar Grove, Belgium. They're going to host 8th seeded Valders. The 4 seed goes to Partyville, who gets 5th seeded Howards Grove. Reedsville claims the 3 seed. They'll play, I said Reedsville. That's the right. Yeah, Reedsville. They get the 3 seed. They're going to play host to Manitowoc Lutheran. And Lamira is your 2 seed in Section 4. They'll welcome in 7th seeded Mishicot. Last year's D6 champ Stratford moved up to D5 because of competitive balance. So wide open field here. Travis, who are you looking at making the serious run in this division or in this bracket?
Yeah, I think in Division 6 in general, I really like Regis's chances. They come out of the Clover Belt Conference, which is one of the best small school leagues in the state. They're playing Stanley Boyd, Mondovi, Elk Mound each and every week. But a team to watch out for is Cuba City. The Cubans under Guy Kopp have 27 seniors, which is a lot for any program, but especially a small school in Division 6. They won the SWAL title. They beat Darlington. They beat Mineral Point, a very good league. So Cuba City is another team, even though they got a 3 seed, one to watch out for.
Yeah, and let's learn more about this Regis squad quickly, though. Ramblers head coach Coach Brenner sat down with our own Nick Tabbert following last night's big Week 9 win.
Regis beat everybody in Wisconsin. You beat a team from the Quad Cities here in Week 9. Thrilling game. You get a late touchdown drive and then a defensive stand on a 2-point conversion here to finish undefeated in the regular season. Coach, what kind of boost can this give you going to the playoffs?
Yeah, just trying to kind of process it right now. I think my heart stopped beating several times there in the 4th quarter, but really proud of our kids. They really battled week after week throughout the whole season, and it goes back to the off season after last year's season. We had kind of a disappointing finish, getting beat in level 2. When we ended the season last year, at that point compared to where we are now, it's a total transformation, and that's because of all the work our kids have put in the off season. It's really tipped my hat to our kids.
Clover Belt Conference was solid again this year. That win against Stanley Boyd on this field, what did that do for this team?
Took a lot out of us, I think. Stanley was a great team. Mondovi was a great team. Being in the Clover Belt now, I think this is my 17th season. I would say the league this year was as good and solid as it ever has been in my time here. Anytime you can win the Clover Belt, you should have a chance to make a deep run in the playoffs.
Why is Regis going to be a tough tough out?
We're respectful and humble. We're always trying to get a little bit better, but we know that we're up against some tough teams, and we know we're going to have to play our best football. We've put a good resume together, but I just love this group of kids, and I just am glad that we can spend another week together.
Regis rolls to an undefeated regular season. The Ramblers are going to be a tough out come playoff time.